In this video, I'm going to show you the only tools you need to get started on the pottery wheel. If you stay to the end, I'll show you a tool I've been using for 6 years, and it's my absolute favorite. It really does it all when it comes to trimming. We won't be going over wheels or kilns, but make sure to subscribe for future videos. Let's get started. So the first tool you need obviously is going to be a sponge. You basically can make any sort of pottery project with just a sponge and some water. Having simple tools can take you a really long way in pottery. There are some kits that you can get on Amazon that sell like a basic pottery toolkit, which is going to be a lot of the things that I'm talking about in today's video. This sponge, these like round yellow circular sponges come in the toolkits, but you can also buy like a multi-pack of these on Amazon. That's what we do because we are a studio and we have other people that take classes and stuff like that, so it's just good for us to have a lot of these on hand. The second tool is ribs. There's a lot of different type of ribs. The basic pottery toolkit is gonna have a metal rib that is gonna be similar to this. It'll probably have more of a straight edge to it. This is a good one by Mud Tools. Now, there are different types of ribs. This is technically a rib. It's a wooden rib. This is a metal rib. And these are polymer ribs. Polymer ribs are gonna have a little bit of flexibility to them. They're not gonna be as flexible as this metal rib here, so these are just good for different things. Mud Tools is also great because they come in different sizes, so you kind of have this baby one that's really cute, and I believe that they do make bigger ones. They also have different thicknesses and flexibilities, so I think they have a blue and a yellow. The yellow is supposed to be the firmest, and that's just really nice to have a good firm rib. And I like to use ribs in a lot of different ways. Now, I would say Garrity Tools sell the most popular ribs. If you're a potter out there, you may know what I'm talking about. They sell these weird different shaped ones. They have like a hot dog and like a bunch of different crazy swirly patterns, and they can be really big or really small. I think they might even have a tool of the month club where you can like get a different Garrity tool sent to your house every month, which is pretty cool. I have never personally tried Garrity Tools, but I have heard a lot of great things. I am the type of potter that just tends to stick to what works. It's kind of like, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I don't need 15 ribs. I need probably 3 really good ones. So that's just kind of my philosophy. I have been using Mud Tools for probably over 6 years now, and I really love them. I think actually this was the very first rib that I ever got from Mud Tools. I've showed it a lot. Like I said, it's the smaller red one, and 6 plus years going strong, haven't had any issues with it. I love using these for getting the thin liquid clay off of the surface of your pottery. Now, I will be honest and admit, I don't always do this part. So a lot of potters, or I would say most potters even, whenever they're done with their piece, they will use something like a rib to get that excess clay off of the surface. And the reason being is because it just really preps your clay up for trimming, carving, painting, glazing. It really just gives you a nice, good surface to work with. Sometimes that slip can just create a texture that people don't necessarily like on their pieces, especially if they're using B-mix or porcelain. You can kind of see all of that texture on there when you bring it out of the kiln, and it just isn't as smooth of a surface to work with. Sometimes I get really particular about that and I will clean my pieces off, but sometimes I don't. So that is a use for ribs. Another use for ribs, this one in particular, is this one is really good for shaping. So this and this are like the same thing basically. And I would say most wooden ribs, especially the ones that Garrity Tools sells, is going to be really good for shaping your pieces. And this will come in that little pottery kit that we're going to link in the description. It's really good for just getting a really nice, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's going to get a really nice straight line, good crease when you're cleaning off the bottom of your clay there. Now, some potters, I actually knew one. She was a tattoo artist, actually, a good friend of mine. Her name's Mallory. She preferred the raw edge on her pieces. She wouldn't, after, you know, this dries and, you know, she takes it off the wheel, she wouldn't do any more trimming. She would keep the raw live edge on the piece. So that rib I just used created that live edge on that pottery piece. Some potters just keep it like that. I personally like a really nicely trimmed piece. If you keep watching further in the video, we're gonna go over trimming. Let's say I had bad technique for this vase. One side of the clay is taller than the other side, so it's kind of have like a rock to it. You probably can see it better from this perspective, but it's kind of uneven. That's when this tool comes in handy. Now this will also come in that little beginner's kit that I was talking about earlier. This is a needle tool, but this is great because it gets your pottery leveled. That is one way you can use it. Basically, I'm going to find where I want to essentially cut the top of the clay off, and then I'm gonna use my needle tool and level it out. That's the way that I use needle tools the most. You can also use them to carve your pottery, which is pretty cool if you have a light hand. I, for one, don't have a very light hand, so I don't really use needle tools to carve surface decoration. But when I first started out, I would use needle tools a lot to sign my work. So that is a good option for needle tools, is to use them to sign your work. But now, since I've been doing it a couple years and we have a studio, I got a stamp made, but it is still a great way to put your initials or whatever you want to put on your clay. That's pretty good for the oil bottle. What I like to do after I make my oil bottles is I clean up around the sides, I clean the piece itself. This is another tool that is going to come in that toolkit. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This tool that comes in the little toolkit, it's not very good. It does enough of a job to be decent, but my favorite wire tool, these are called wire tools, my favorite wire tool is by Mud Tools. So yeah, Mud Tools, their wire tool is really nice. It has green handles. I think I showed it in a few videos back, but basically once you throw your piece, you sort of use it like dental floss. You know, like you're flossing your teeth, right? And then you just put it under the vessel and you press down. You do want to press down. If you lift up at all, you could put a hole in your piece. You could slice it unevenly and then it would just give you a harder time to trim. So you want to make sure that you are using your wire tool properly. The reason I like the wire tools tool better is because this wire is really thin and it's very flimsy, and the other one is thicker and seems to have more of like a heavy duty feel. There's also different types of wire tools that you can get that have a design in them, and then once you cut through them, they leave a surface decoration pattern on the bottom of your mug. I've never tried those because I like to write different things on the bottom of my pieces. As you can see, the clay is different. This is a B-Mix clay by Laguna. Another way you can use the needle tool is you can use it to check and see if you're centered or not, which that is a really good use of the needle tool. You can also use it to put a mark on the top of your pottery to see where you need to trim, and that is another good option for it. Now, we are at the part of the video where we're going to go through the two main trim tools that you're going to use for trimming your pottery. This is a ribbon tool, a ribbon trim tool. This is probably going to come in your pottery kit that I was talking about earlier. It is a Kemper trim tool. Now, Kemper makes really good trim tools. The basic kit is not going to contain a Kemper trim tool. I personally don't use these loop tools very often unless I'm carving. The concept in pottery is called fluting and faceting, is when you carve lines into your pottery and then you have like those indentations. So that would be if I were to carve upward like this onto the piece. This is a really good tool for that. You can also use it to trim feet. So pottery terms, the top of the cup that you're drinking from, that's called the lip of the piece. The bottom, this is technically the bottom, that's called the foot. Trimming your feet, your foot, your feet. My favorite tool ever, the Dual Trim tool by Mud Tools. This is the one that I've been using for 6+ years. I love this tool so much. The reason being is because every single side of this tool you can use to trim and to carve your pottery. So for example, I can use this side to get a nice good edge. I can also use this corner part to carve different stripes and lines onto my pottery. This part right here is really good for carving out the foot of your vessel. So for example, if I wanted to create a really dynamic, delicate foot, I could use this. This flat part is also great for leveling. Sometimes if you're not steady-handed when you're trimming, your pieces can get a little uneven, and that's really good to even them out. But I mostly use, that's so nice, isn't that, to get those ribbons when you're trimming. Those ribbons mean that your pottery is perfectly leather hard, and typically you don't want to trim before it's leather hard because it can just give you a lot of issues. Now, when I was learning pottery in college, I heard a story of a guy who sold these little trimmings. He would sell these, and he would turn them into little cloud pins, and he would sell them as little cloud pins that you put on your shirt. And I just thought that was the craziest thing. Good for him for finding a way to make little clay shards to be something more than just a little clay shard. But I did think it was astronomical that he made those and decided to sell them for a lot of money. But I mean, what do you expect these days? We have people taping bananas to walls, and that costing millions of dollars. You can turn anything into a cool piece of art. That's what we learned from that guy. Right now, I am just making my vessel really, really clean and trimmed so that I have a good starting point for when I go to put a handle on this piece. And we're gonna be doing the next one. And you can see the difference here. This is dual trim tool. This is raw edged. I just think that this is a much more polished look. So I put this remnant clay around my vessel so that when I'm trimming it, it doesn't move around. Now there are other options for this same exact process. Griffin, I think, sells a very expensive trimming wheel setup, and I've never bought one of those. I have used one. I think they are really great, but this is what I've been doing for 6+ years, and this doesn't cost me any extra money. I can just put these little coils here and my piece stays intact. There are other cool things that I've seen on Amazon and on Etsy. Basically, it's like a little spinny piece that you hold on the top and it keeps your pottery in place. I think those are really cool. The correct term for these little pieces of clay down here is called a coil. I don't call them coils because I think that's boring. I call them wormies because they look like little worms. And when you're using any trim tool, you want to make sure that you have a light hand. If you do a heavy hand at all, you are going to just make incredibly searing marks into your pottery. So you do want to make sure that you have a steady hand. You do want to make sure that you're not using too much pressure. And if you are doing that, if you have a sloppy hand and if you are using a ton of pressure, then just practice. It comes with a lot of practice. There's a lot of babysitting in pottery, you know, trying to figure out when your piece is dry to trim it, trying to figure out, you know, when to take it off the bat, trying to figure out when to glaze it. There's a lot of babysitting, a lot of checking, a lot of saying, you know, what stage is this in and that sort of thing. Okay, we have a bunch of curly fries, which is always a good feeling because it means that we've trimmed a good piece. So this mug is a little squattier, which I have found in the past couple of years of selling my work at different shows and things like that, that people like variety. Some people like a larger mug. Some people like something smaller like this. I prefer a larger mug. I like lots of coffee, but that's just me. If you liked any of these tools, we made a free downloadable guide with links to these tools and other helpful tips and everything else you need to get started with pottery. You can grab that in the description below. Bye!